Meteorologist Matthew East here with you again in the Weather on the One's Forecast Center. This is your Wednesday, November 4th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. It was a frosty start to the day today up in the Triad area. A little milder around the Charlotte region, but still pretty chilly as we began the day for today. And hardly anything in the way of any major storm systems to show you, but there is a weaker system heading our way. Now, let's look at the radar imagery this morning. And at that point in time, before 5 o'clock this morning, we had rain falling in parts of Illinois and Indiana, down into northern Kentucky, a little bit of snow mixed in Wisconsin and Michigan, where the air is cool enough. That is associated with this disturbance up at 500 millibars, or roughly 20,000 feet or so off the ground. It's a pretty potent disturbance, and if this had any moisture to work with, it would certainly produce some rain around our area. But the air mass here very, very dry, so at the surface, not a lot of rain making it to the surface here around our area. Now, certainly the mountains will see a little precip with this, especially up into the mountains of Virginia, and then into the coastal plain of the Carolinas, where the moisture is a little better, especially northeastern North Carolina, could be a couple of showers. But I think this will be a dry system pressing through for the Charlotte and the Triad zones. Some cloud cover mainly this evening, but then behind the system the sky clears on out overnight. So for today, a lot of sunshine, low to mid 60s for highs, and then only low to mid 40s tonight with that evening cloud cover holding up temperatures just a bit. And then a fresh push of cooler air begins arriving tomorrow. We'll look for a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Again, mid to lower 60s for highs, and then that area of high pressure just sits itself right overhead here around the region. And so we are left with a cool air mass and a lot of sunshine. So as we go through the day there on Friday, beautiful, a lot of sunshine. We start off the day Friday in the 30s for lows. Highs Friday, upper 50s to maybe lower 60s in some of the warmer spots. Probably the coldest night of this cold snap is going to be Friday night into Saturday morning, and that's when we could see low to mid 30s for lows. So a chilly start to Saturday, but then a gorgeous Saturday afternoon, low to mid 60s for highs with a sunny sky. Sunday looks beautiful, sunny, and getting milder, upper 60s to lower 70s there on Sunday. So a gorgeous weekend ahead with lots of sun. Monday, we begin to see clouds increasing as moisture begins to gather off to our south and west, and the GFS here actually brings the rain chance in on Tuesday of next week. Now, this may be a little tough to see. The Canadian handles things a little differently. It's a little slower. This is Wednesday morning, and that's when the rain begins to push in. So the Canadian actually brings the brunt of the rain next week through on Wednesday. The GFS is mainly Tuesday. So some timing differences. And actually what's happening here, we'll go back to the GFS panel, is all that action I'm going to talk about in just a moment down in parts of the southern Gulf and the southern Caribbean Sea. That moisture gets entrained and gets lifted up our way and interacts with the next trough swinging in and brings us some rain chances next week. And finally, out of the end of the run, still a lot of indications of a significant push of cold air toward mid-month. This is actually the 19th in the evening on the GFS. That's the upper air chart, and there's the surface chart. Very cold air in the eastern part of the country. We'll see how that unfolds. Now, I mentioned the tropics. The NHC mentioning a moderate developmental potential with this area down near the coast of Central America. It's a satellite shot this morning. You had this cluster of storms in the Bay of Campeche and then a more organized cluster down near Central America. And a lot of the models actually do develop that Central American low pressure, and this is actually the Hurricane Wharf, valid about 5 days from now, as it develops the system and moves it up there toward the Yucatan Channel. And again, it looks like this probably won't develop into an overly impressive system, but it could develop enough to bring certainly some decent rain with the next system to parts of the southeastern U.S. next week. There's a spread in computer model guidance there for that disturbance near the coast of Central America. So we'll watch that. That could become a classified tropical system. Either way, it looks like it'll bring some rain, or at least enhance the rain to the southeastern U.S. as the next system pulls through next Tuesday or Wednesday. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great Wednesday, and God bless.